Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Jordan. Jordan Dither. How are you today?
Didn't know if you'd bring the dithering onto air, but it seems you have. Yeah, we had some audio differences, I guess.
You know, it's weird.
Problems.
Throughout this podcast run, we've had very little difficulty recording from an audio perspective. So it was weird that this time around we had a little bit of a struggle. But resilience and dither brought us through.
We went through all the audio settings, learned a lot about shaping dithers, and I'm just going to leave it there because I think it gets a little saucier if you keep going.
Yeah, and well, we do have an explicit rating now because you decided to stop bleeping swears. I don't know, laziness, I guess. You never really explained it to me. Maybe you're feeling a little more edgy. I like that option better.
I just really want to have our full contrast on display. So,
and when you say full contrast, what is it you mean?
Well, you know, you're the one who's clever and quick on his feet.
No,
I'm the one.
you are too.
I'm the one who can't speak into a microphone or read words off of a page. So that's the beginning of our differences. But that's what makes us stronger.
Jordan, you speak good, real good. And, well, we're talking about things that are good, enjoyable, and a little bit new for me. A little bit new.
Oh.
I've not done anything quite like this before.
Really?
No.
I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to say, are you sure?
I want to talk about this YouTube video, I guess.
You kind of hate YouTube. Let's go on the record and say you hate YouTube.
No, it's more like most of my hatred, it's more complex than just that. I don't like these teenagers that are making millions of dollars with their stupid YouTube shows and live streams.
Bitter party of one.
Could I be any more bitter? The answer is yes, I could. But I like this video, and this was a new thing for me. What we did is we watched a video that focused on two gentlemen playing the home improvement, I'm going to call it a video game, for SNES? Is that how you would say it? Or is it SNES?
It's Super Nintendo. How about you just say that?
But SNES is also an appropriate way of saying it, or no?
As long as you keep saying it like that.
Okay. So we watched the video, and Jordan, are you familiar with Twitch?
I'm very familiar with Twitch.
Okay.
Are you? This is hilarious to me. Keep going.
In the loosest of senses, I know there are Twitch streams and people watch other people play games. That is like a way we entertain ourselves as a society, correct?
Well, you used to do that by just coming over to my house. But yes, people do it online
hey, pal,
now.
Was never entertained. Just wanted to, get out.
Just didn't have video games. Yeah,
I just didn't want to buy things for myself. So yeah, people watch Twitch streams, and this was, I don't know, seemed like it was sort of like that to me.
Yeah, YouTube, people do it exclusively on YouTube too. And then there's other services like Mixer as well. So there's lots of this stuff. Twitch, very popular, now owned by Amazon, so they've got lots of financial backing. But as you said, what we have here is a great video. I'm so glad that, I think, was this a tweet from, this was from YouTube, right? Somebody sent us this suggestion on YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't know if this was one of the suggestions that person sent or not. I kind of did my own research, and I recognized a name and a face, and I said, I know who this guy is, so I will click on this video. And the name of the video was, hey, Jordan, we're going to try that explicit rating out, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Be careful.
It was called Fuck This Game, was the name of the series. It was actually F***CK, but I don't know. Who are they kidding? I know what they're trying to say. And the video had Adam Conover, who is someone I recognized. He has a True TV show, True TV, show, where he debunks common American myths, I guess. I've never watched it, but I recognized his face, and his name is Adam Conover, and we clicked on it, and they were reviewing 1994's Home Improvement for SNES, and Dan Klein was also there as well. And I watched it while on the treadmill about a week ago,
Did it make you run faster or slower?
I was kind of like, I was surprised. I thought it was kind of funny, so I was laughing on the treadmill, which I don't normally do because it's hard work. Fitness is no joke. We talked about that at the end of last week's episode.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, I mean, we can get into the whole video first before we start talking about whether we liked it or not. But I did not recognize these people like you did. But it sounds like this is a side project for Adam, and they have quite a big following. I think this video had over 200,000 reviews, so must be something that they do a series on and get quite a bit of viewership. So good for them.
So I guess let's just talk about the game, and let's just talk about everything, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought, the game is seemingly very difficult. That was a big takeaway. Like, it seems almost impossible.
It looked hard and looked confusing. So it was basically like Sonic the Hedgehog. It looked like Sonic the Hedgehog. They also mentioned that too, so they obviously felt that way as well. You collect the rings, you got to jump over things. It's a platform type of game. Just didn't seem as straightforward, where in Sonic, you're basically moving from the left end of a level to the right end of a level. This one, you were kind of going back and forth, up and down. Yeah,
the premise is very bizarre. So essentially, Alan...
Wait, before you get there, really cool intro, though.
It looks great. And one of the beefs I had with this video was this other guy, Dan Klein, a lot of Home Improvement misinformation. He was wrong about a lot of things.
Well, and Adam seemed to watch the show and know way more about the show.
Yeah, whereas this not Dan Clan.
Just call him Dan.
Dan, he didn't know as much, but he also had more opinions, so... that's
America for you.
Oh, man, you better stop it, mister. And he said that he didn't think that the opening graphic, which was the Home Improvement logo with all the fans floating in the sky, was a part of the show. You wrong, Dan. It did look great. It was probably the best part of the graphics were seemingly okay.
It really brought me back to that time of, Sega and Super Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah.
And SNES. Yeah.
So the premise is pretty funny. Al and Tim are on set with the boys for some reason. The boys are just hanging out.
They don't make that clear.
No Jill, no Wilson, no anybody else. And they're getting ready to start the show, but they can't because Tim's tools have been stolen by... ? I don't know.
I tell you what, that audience was probably pretty disappointed.
Who stole the tools? Okay, someone stole the tools and took them back to the Stone Age. Who stole the tools?
Nobody knows. I'm sure as you continue through the game, if that's even possible to get past the first level, you will figure out who stole the tools.
Okay, next point I want to bring up, and this is not something that I considered until probably an hour ago. The Stone Age setting is in reference to Tim being kind of like a caveman, ape figure? Is that what they're doing? Just a big metaphor?
Question mark?
Or am I overthinking it?
No, I think that's... I don't know. Maybe are they going through the history of tools, and they're starting in the Stone Age? With
that would really surprise me. Maybe we're both overthinking it. I don't know. It seemed like basing a game's kind of format on a metaphor like that, risky business.
This whole game is risky business. Tim, as they start in the Stone Age, you go back in time, they've got dinosaurs and pterodactyls and all sorts of stuff like that.
I like the little bugs that kept running into his feet and causing him to die.
The thing about those bugs, though, where the way they were designed, they were so low to the ground that you couldn't see them, but you also couldn't really hit them with your weapons, which happened to be a drill, a hammer, a nail gun.
Yeah.
A jackhammer, a grappling hook, and then at some point, they got a chainsaw that seemed to shoot lasers.
Like that.
So,
yeah. It's sort of Tarzan-esque, he's in a jungle and he's swinging from not vines, I guess, but he's swinging occasionally as well. Jungle to Jungle reference, I suppose. Foreshadowing Jungle to Jungle. I mean, one would suspect. My favorite thing about this, in the dumbest part of the game, is when Tim Allen dies, is it goes to a black screen and the boys are fanning him and squirting him with water so as to kind of bring him back to health. And I thought that was really stupid and funny.
And they go back to the set where he is with Al, and they're like, hey, let's try it again.
Yeah.
Very strange. Throughout the video, I mean, they go through this and they talk about how strange it is, and they're trying to figure out the game as we are watching it. But they also talk a little bit about Tim's criminal past, which we never get into because Tim Allen is a saint. And also
that guy's wrong. Also,
I know
he was
when we were talking
it,
about misinformation,
yeah.
I don't think he's got the whole story right.
No,
so
I don't. I think that we should not weigh in on Tim Allen's criminal past until the show is over. We've gone this far, so let's just skip it. But let's just say that Dan, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's got some bad information again.
Yeah. Then they start going through like a segue into 90s TV, which is semi-interesting, I guess, if you're interested in that. They start talking about Just Shoot Me and all these other shows that we've talked about a little bit. But we do learn that one didn't really watch the show, and the other seemed to not enjoy the show, even though I think he did enjoy the show, but he was embarrassed to admit it in front of Dan.
Yeah, he's doing the sort of modern Home Improvement take where it's like, I can't believe there was a show where a guy grunted and everybody loved it. Like, okay, I mean, that's a real modern look at Home Improvement that is not entirely accurate. Yeah, that's just sort of the cynical comedian approach, I guess. Jealousy, I guess, sour grapes. You tell me, Dan. Can't wait to tweet at this guy. Oh man, start a war.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely comment on this video by our YouTube channel, which is bustling at the moment.
Who has more followers? This Dan Klein Adam Conover show or us?
It's pretty close.
Okay,
we did gain 3 new followers this last week, though.
Cool, nice.
I don't know why, but okay. So Adam, we don't like this game. They don't like this game. What should this game have been about? I mean, in my head, I almost think like something where you're building something, kind of like SimCity would have been better.
Interesting, yeah.
But I don't know how you.
I mean,
put Tim Allen into that.
Not. I mean, it's just not a very good idea. Like it doesn't. It's not ripe for video game adaptation.
It's not like Batman or something.
No. But I guess that was what they did back then, right? They would just like take pre-existing properties and try to churn a game out of them and make some money, whether or not it was appropriate or not. What would be a good home improvement game? I mean, I think the stolen tool concept is okay. I don't know, just the prehistoric stuff doesn't make a lot of sense. And then, like, okay, if you take it out of that setting, look, what is he, just like walking around Detroit? Like, I don't know, that seems like that could go wrong in a lot of different ways. So I don't have a better idea. I think your building idea is pretty good. Maybe somebody kidnaps Randy and he's got to get him back or something. No, somebody kidnapped Mark. I mean, obviously. Well, no, Mark knows karate, so that wouldn't work.
What could have worked better is a bunch of like mini games a la Pokemon Stadium, where like there's a mini game where you have to try to like out decorate, I don't know, the Doc Johnson guy, and then you have to like, I don't know, stuff like that. Just a bunch of random stuff that is just game based that might have been more entertaining. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, overall, did you like this YouTube video? I found these guys pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I like this kind of stuff. I found myself jealous that I don't do this because it seems like a pretty interesting and fun thing to do.
And probably a saturated market at this point.
Well, everything is except for home improvement podcasts, right?
Even that seems to be kind of saturated.
Good point. So, but you got to start somewhere.
Right.
And I enjoy video games, so I enjoyed this. So
cool. All right. Well, thank you to the fella on YouTube that gave us this idea. We talked about you last episode, so the fact that I don't have your name in front of me, I'm
I feel like it was either Rambler fan
or Rambler. Yeah, that's what it was.
Something like that. I don't know.
Rambling man. All right.
Give credit where credit's due. All right. Well, from that into an episode of Home Improvement, we're going to be covering 142, A Funny Valentine. This one was written by Charlie Hawk, who last did The Tool Man Delivers. Yeah. Which, Tim delivered a baby for Heidi, which was very nice of him.
It was super nice that he did that, yeah.
He's just a compassionate man.
Yeah, it was cool. He just was like, hey, do you want me to do that for you? And she was like, nah, I don't see anybody else here.
Except for that Tom Poston.
Oh, yeah. I choose to forget about that Tom Poston because it was a little bit grating.
I wonder if he would have just like charged her extra for doing that.
He'd say, baby fluid on the floor, that's going to cost you. Baby fluid, right? That's a thing.
All right, this one aired February 11th, 1997. This wasn't in the trivia or
Did
notes
you look
or
at
whatever.
the trivia?
What?
Did you look at the trivia for this episode?
I did. The trivia is...
What? That doesn't make any sense. It's not even... What is that?
Somebody got confused. They posted trivia for the wrong episode, basically.
Yeah, and, well, I don't want to make fun of people that can't write, but it was a tough thing to understand for me.
Well...
You know what? I do want to make fun of people that can't write. Yeah, what was the trivia? Sorry.
I wanted to say that I'm guessing the title reference is My Funny Valentine by Frank Sinatra, but it doesn't say it, so maybe I need to add that.
You should add it. It's almost certainly a reference to that. I'm guessing you're a Sinatra guy. You seem the type.
What does that mean?
You want to have a couple minutes on it, or what do you want to do?
What does that mean?
You just seem like you would like Sinatra. Go ahead. Tell me you don't like Sinatra and lie.
No, I do like
Yeah, I
Sinatra
know
quite
you
a bit.
do, of course.
I have like 3 Spotify lists, and he's one of them. So there you go.
Jordan, I could tell a mile away that you like Sinatra.
I like to cook to Sinatra.
Well, and you always wear fedoras. As you cook.
In high school, I was part of the Rat Pack, you know?
Yeah, you guys were crooners too. Good stuff. All right.
All right.
What else you
Alternative
got?
title time.
I got nothing good, man. I really wanted to.
Yeah, I tried quite a bit. I don't feel great about any of these. And one of these I feel like I reused, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. I gotta find my notes here. I thought I was on the right... This is happening a lot lately.
You're just unorganized.
All right. I have 4. I don't think I'm going to get you with any of them. There's
All right.
no good ones.
Well, that is kind of the goal, so we might as well close up shop. So
How many did you say you had? I forgot.
just 3. I didn't mention it yet. That's why you forgot.
Easy to forget, yeah.
Go ahead.
Affair? No fair. Hey, I guess I was wrong.
That's stupid. I'm in a good mood after that opening segment, so
Okay.
I'll take anything at this point.
Okay.
Quit playing games with my
You have
heart.
used that before, yes.
Have I?
Yeah, for sure. You've
I've
done
done
a lot of Backstreet Boys ones, actually.
Well-
You know what? As a crooner, though, makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like the next evolution of crooning.
Musicians respect other musicians. That's a fact.
Real respect, real.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't care. Okay. Meddle, MEDDLE, meddle detector.
Okay.
Yeah, it sucks. I don't know. Who cares? Keep going.
I just, this is probably worse than what I actually wrote down, but I just thought of another one. So I'm going to have you pick which one you like better.
Okay.
They both include the word lost.
Mm-hmm.
The Lost Valentine.
Don't like that one.
All right. Raiders of the Lost Valentine.
Love it. Yeah, really good. Best one. All right. Which one did you make up on the spot?
Raiders.
Oh, that's good. All right, this is in reference to that hot-ass drummer, Mel. Melodramatic.
Do you, I mean, maybe we should wait, but do you recognize him?
I have his bio pulled up, but I haven't really looked at it, so...
Oh, I
no.
recognized him right away from The Office.
Okay, we're going to need to circle back on that, then.
All right. My last one is Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and I owe you.
That's a good one, yeah.
A bit of a mouthful, but...
This is... Oh, man, this sucks. This one's so bad. It doesn't... Okay, at the end of the episode, Tim... If you have to explain it, obviously, it's a
Yeah,
failure.
this is bad already.
Tim finds Jill's present in a piece of furniture. This is in relation to that. I have a hunch things aren't as they seem. It's trash, man. I know.
Oh, I'm so happy to be doing this with you today.
Yeah, perfect.
It's just
All right.
wonderful, wonderful. All right,
right,
let's
let's
open on
start.
the show.
Yeah.
We're on Tool Time. I don't know if you've noticed, this is just kind of an observation. We haven't gotten a lot of Al jokes, especially when he introduces Al.
No, I was thinking the same thing. I feel like it's been like years. I'm always waiting for him to say, "This is my, Al, the flannel man Borland" or something. But he's done that in years. It's really weird.
Yeah, just kind of dropped off. So, I mean, he still makes fun of him sometimes,
Yeah.
as in later in the scene. It's remodeling week, and there's tools around the home that you want to remodel and all that kind of stuff. Or not tools, but, storage solutions, all that type of stuff. So they start showing, like, under-counter recycling and a hat rack or a coat rack that comes to you when you clap. Mm-hmm. There's a foil dispenser. And there's an everything drawer. I think we all have one of these, and it's just extra, extra long. You can fit everything in there.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
It was interesting. I didn't see it coming, at least.
Me neither, yeah.
There's a cooling unit in the drawer for produce or wine, which would be practical. I like that. Washer and dryer combo units. What's in the washer and dryer? Well, it's Al's underwear, which it would fit maybe like a brown bear or a large animal. I'm not sure.
or a black bear.
Well, definitely not a grizzly. No. And entertainment center that hides a TV. And this is where things go haywire because Tim has souped up the little platform that raises the TV, and the TV goes through the roof, just like their ratings.
You said it, mister. All right, I got two things. One, have you ever known anyone or essentially seen a
bear wear underwear?
No, a clapper device.
Like the clap-on lights?
Yeah, like, it doesn't have to be just lights. It can really be anything. The clapper.
Are you talking about Jason Garrett?
We can.
I don't think I've ever been around one, no.
Me neither, but I know my Uncle Kyle used to have one because I asked my mom the same question about a year ago. So.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Next thing.
All right. Clapper. We should bring that back. That's a cool idea. I actually clap a lot when I get excited, so that would kind of not work for me.
Well, I think, now that has just turned into like Alexa.
Well, don't say it too loud. She'll turn on. And then she'll listen to this podcast. Well, actually, we'd have another download. That wouldn't be all bad.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, maybe
another
we should.
Listener. Okay, hey, Alexa. No.
Can we infiltrate all Alexas?
Other note. This is the TV stand in this scene harkens back to an era where big TV entertainment systems were popular. That has gone away. Yeah,
we just got rid of a smaller one at our place and just hung the TV on the wall.
Yeah,
we don't want that.
Nobody wants bulk anymore.
Get out of my living room.
Yep. Okay. Next scene. I'll take this one. Backstage. It's Valentine's Day. The show posits, and I wrote always posits that Tim is kind of a bad gift giver, but I feel like he's actually kind of a good gift giver. Puts a lot of thought into gifts.
Can you remind me of the gifts that he's gotten?
I remember that videotape thing he did at well, I guess that was after he learned a lesson.
Wasn't there one the one with the first Tom Poston? Wasn't he flying somewhere to get something?
Yeah, in the UP. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. I feel like Tim's not that bad of a gift giver, but
I think it never works out. Is the problem?
Well, that's not his fault.
Sometimes.
Okay, this episode, it is his fault. He doesn't remember what he got Jill because he did it so long ago, and he hid it. So that's kind of the situation he's in. I guess during the show, Tool Time received a call, and Heidi is their operator or something. I don't know. She answered the phone. And Lydia, a woman that Tim, I don't know if we find out now or later, Tim went to high school with. She wants to. She's singing at a hotel, and she wants to meet him. And man, who even knows what to think?
Who even knows what to think? One thing to mention, at the very start of the scene, Al and Tim are talking, and they mention Eileen, so she does still exist.
Yeah, you're right. Al says he got her a really good gift or something, right?
Yeah, and they're still engaged and all that stuff, so...
Yeah, for now. I mean, not if he doesn't start paying attention to her.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Lady Talbot, all that kind of stuff. Like you said, we do learn that she says they went to high school together, which makes me have lots of questions, because... We'll find out later that's not exactly true.
Bit of a catfish.
Quit playing games with my heart, Liddy.
All right, next scene, Jordan. I'll let you take this one.
At home, Brad and Randy are wondering what to do for their Valentine. So I guess Randy is going hot and heavy with, I don't even remember her name. Jessica?
Lauren. Jessica is a fair guess. Yeah.
Well, Jessica Weston was a long time ago, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what I would call this situation that they're in right now? Kind of a funny Valentine.
Okay. That's a bad joke.
No, I'm not joking. That's the name of the episode. So.
Well, it is?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tim tried to get his boys to find the lost present for $2. I mean, maybe that would work if there were 5. So they upped the ante, and they're going to get $40 if they can find it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, I guess. Depending on how much time you put in.
Not worth it.
Well, they don't find it, so.
Spoiler.
Sorry. Jill comes in, and she's ready for her Valentine's present. She's very excited. Must be expecting something. Maybe Tim usually delivers on Valentine's Day. I'm not
The Tool
sure.
Man delivers? You talking about that one?
We might as well. Tim shares the message that he got on Tool Time, and Jill speculates immediately that she is into him and coming to be a marriage wrecker, home wrecker.
Jill's angle in this episode is vexing to me. Her response to this, because she kind of pushes him to go. She says like he has.
She wants to find out what's going on.
He doesn't want to go, and she says oh, you have to, and I'm thinking like, well, why would she want that? I don't know. Yeah, I guess she just likes the gossip.
I guess so. She likes to meddle, you know.
They do something here. Okay, so like, there's no Facebook. I don't know if you know this, Jordan, but there was not Facebook in 1997.
What?
Mind you, this is before the internet. I love it when people say that to me. Like I don't.
What about MySpace?
Like I
Was
don't
that
freaking
around?
know. People over 60 love saying, "Oh, mind you, this was before the internet." Like, okay, I know. Yeah, don't remind me. Jeez, okay.
Maybe you should stop hanging out with 60-year-olds.
I can't. They're the only people that like me. I'm an old soul. I'm a crooner like you, Jordan. That's why we're friends.
That's why we always got along. But you weren't part of the Rat Pack, so figure that one out.
Tried. I started my own. The Brat Pack.
You did like to start
The
clubs.
Frat Pack. Vince Vaughn, Luke Wilson, Ben Stiller.
Man.
Okay. So, mind you, there's no internet. No, there actually is. So they don't have Facebook, so they pick up a yearbook, because what person in their mid to late 40s doesn't have a high school yearbook easily on hand to just pick up from their living room and search? That struck me as being a little strange.
Yeah, I mean, so we just moved, and I found mine, but it's definitely not, like I lost it and found it, I didn't know where it was before we moved, so... Yeah, I don't know that they have it, like, it's seemingly in the kitchen drawer, basically.
Yeah, they just pull it out. It's, like, just on the table, like someone was
maybe
just
it's in
looking
that
at
everything drawer. That's really long.
Good thinking. They find her, Lydia. She's attractive.
I'm a bit confused, because wouldn't they notice that the first name is not Lydia?
You saying there's a plot hole in this episode of Home Improvement? Hey, man, I don't know. You better talk to Pete Boners.
I will not.
Boners, it's Lions. We gotta talk. How fast can you get to St. Cloud?
I wonder if people do call him by his last name.
I don't know, man. It's one of those situations where I guess you have to embrace it, because what else are you gonna do?
Tough situation.
Yeah. So Tim's not comfortable with this. Jill says he has to.
She's a babe too. Did we talk about that?
I said that she's a babe. Yeah. Yeah, you said smoke show. I said, yeah, she's attractive. I don't really know the vernacular, but yeah, she's a babe.
Well, it's because you hang out with 60-year-olds.
Yeah, right. They just call everybody a doll.
They're like that broad over there.
Yeah, broad. Hey, darling.
So yeah, Tim's gonna go, and we move to the hotel.
And after no, that's R. Kelly. We don't do that anymore. Okay. I was about to do it in earnest, but I stopped myself. That's progress, people. All right, go ahead. I need to take a break after that.
Tim is at the hotel a little early. He wants to get a drink, and he orders a perfect Manhattan. And I don't know what that is, but I'm sure you do. Can you tell me?
A perfect Manhattan? I honestly don't.
I've never heard a perfect anything before. Like, I've heard neat, I've heard on the rocks. I've never heard perfect.
I mean, a Manhattan has got to be some sort of a bourbon or whiskey-based drink. That is essentially all I can give you. Sorry.
Do you want to find out what it actually is, or is this just a silly rabbit hole?
Why don't you? And I'll just wait.
A perfect Manhattan and a Manhattan, they're different things. It has half sweet vermouth and half dry vermouth. So maybe that's the difference between them.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go any further because...
I liked what you told me, and I'm glad we did that. All right. So keep going. Yeah, good.
All right. So we're at the hotel. Janine Garofalo comes into the picture. I did not know this was going to happen. I thought the only time we'd ever see her was in that terrible movie.
Which one?
Well, the one that we covered for Patreon. I don't even remember what it's called. Dave Barry film? Was that one?
Yeah, Big Trouble.
Big Trouble.
I forgot she was in that. This is weird. This is a weird... I knew she was going to be in an episode, but this is like a really small, insignificant role for her. I was a little surprised by it.
It's a bit zany as well.
Now that's Janine for you. Janine Garofalo, best known for, well, this says Ratatouille, Mystery Men. I think of Wet Hot American Summer, Rami and Michelle's high school reunion. 154 credits to her name. She's in Broad City recently. She was in the Ben Stiller sketch show way back in the day. That's kind of where I first saw her. I like her. I generally think she's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's not bad. In this episode, she's slapping the bass.
She's slapping the bass, man. She was nominated for 2 Emmys, and I intend to find out what they are as soon as it loads. Nominated for 2 Emmys for the Larry Sanders Show. That is another really good show that she's on. I'm glad I clicked on that. She's really good on that. She plays Paula. I like her. Yeah, in this, she doesn't have a lot to do, but is still kind of funny.
She probably has like the second most lines in this episode. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it just feels insignificant because it's mostly about
strange.
Yeah, it's just like sort of bizarre. But yeah, I liked seeing her for sure.
Yeah, so she comes into the scene and Tim helps her out with the giant instrument that she's carrying. She's going to be in the band tonight. They get a drink together. He orders her, I don't remember what. Someone walks in, some lady, and Tim thinks it's Liddy, and it's not. He goes up to her and says some things. But the real Liddy quickly walks in, and she's noticeably older. And Tim's a bit confused by this, and there's like a little bit of a small talk here where they try to explain what's going on. But then she just comes out with it. Tim went to school with Elizabeth Talbot, and this is her mother.
So here's the funny thing. This mother, is her name also Elizabeth?
No, she's Liddy.
Oh, she's Liddy. Okay.
That's where I'm confused at the whole yearbook situation.
Why wasn't? Yeah, you're right. That doesn't add up. Pete, come on. The deal with this is that was strange for me. Okay, so this is Anne Francis, and we'll get into her bio. She's pretty well known, but I thought she was older than Tim, but it wasn't like noticeable enough for me to like really get what was happening. I don't know. Yeah,
right away I was kind of confused until she said something about like being the mother. So
I thought
I get you.
Yeah, like okay. So and at the time I looked up her age. She was like 67, but she doesn't look 67. So I had a little bit of difficulty understanding it. Anne Francis.
She looks great. That's what you're saying.
She looks great, and she's kind of known for being a very attractive woman. Anne Francis, 2 episodes of Twilight Zone, Jordan.
Wow. Yeah. Which ones?
Most famous is the After Hours, wherein it is revealed at the end she is a mannequin in a store that got a day out. So that's her. And she's also in an episode called Jezebel, which is a Western that is not as good. 169 credits to her name, best known for Forbidden Planet, Honey West, Bad Day at Black Rock, The Satan Bug, which...
Love Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, that's, it's Shakespeare in space. She won a Golden Globe. She was in a Drew Carey episode. That's a fun little connection. And most recently, I thought of her just a few days ago because I saw the new Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Leonardo DiCaprio's character has a poster that she is on in his trailer pretty prominently. So she is very much in the zeitgeist still. She passed away in 2011, sadly.
Well, she does great here. Yeah. And we get to hear her vocals as well.
I have some questions on those, but...
Well, we'll get to them later.
Okay, right.
Currently, she is chatting with Tim, and we get a little bit of the story here. She was a friend of his father's. They used to go together, and then, I mean, from all situations here, it seems like they fooled around into the marriage. That's what it seems like. Yeah. And she wants to keep talking, but it's time to go on the stage and sing. And she's like, "Hey, stick around." And Tim's like, "I don't want to hear this," and he bails.
She told the story structurally in a way that was kind of misleading.
Very confusing for me. I just assumed the whole rest of the episode that Tim's father was a homewrecker as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think he was, just because of the way in which they sort of end the conversation, where Tim sort of rushes off and she doesn't get to finish. I assumed it wasn't actually the case, but yeah, she does a poor job of relaying the information and does so in a way that would make you think, yeah, your father had cheated on your mother, which no one wants to hear.
No. So,
I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't think so. All right, back at home.
Yeah.
Randy found a gift. Is a locket. What if this was Angela's locket?
It's Mary Angela Pino's locket that she left in a back alley.
I always call her Angela for some reason.
It's my locket, Brad. Where do you think she's at now? Like, we don't know what happened to her.
She moved away, right?
Yeah, but where to?
Just away from the meat man.
If I had to guess, on the count of 3, say which city you think she moved to. And maybe it'll be the same city. 1, 2, 3.
San Antonio?
Flagstaff. Pretty close.
All right.
Not bad. All right.
So this locket actually has a picture of Brad in it, and it's going to be his gift to Angela. Tim comes in and chats with Jill and shares what he suspects was what I suspected, which was the affair. And Jill wants some more details, and she starts like...
Pretty insensitive.
Very insensitive. She starts turning this into like a twisted, strange romance novel that she's read, and is like trying to say, "What if you had married?" Whatever. It gets very strange, and it's kind of like the murder mystery movie that was on Netflix with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, this episode's better than that, actually, probably. In all honesty, yeah, Jill is not giving the support you'd want out of your wife, because if you in fact found this out, you would feel. I mean, it would really bother you, I think.
I have a question. This goes back to the very beginning of the video game review.
Wow.
They mention in that review that Jill is perceived as a bitch.
Don't hold back.
I don't understand. Like, was that how she came off to everyone?
Who said? I don't remember them saying that.
They said it like over and over. They said it a couple of times when they were talking about like this is the show and Tim grunts a lot and his wife is.
What happens is like people assume because Tim Allen is like this kind of masculine, grunting sort of caveman that like Jill is fulfilling the like shrewish sort of wife role, and I think that people just sort of operate off that assumption when there really isn't a lot of. I mean, that's not grounded in anything. I mean, I've never watched the show and thought that of Jill, and I don't think anyone that's ever watched the show has, but people that think about the show and like our current landscape just sort of assume that like he is sort of like dressing her down and telling her what to do, and she's sort of just like cleaning in the kitchen and stuff, but like it's really not the case. So yeah, I don't know where they got that from either.
Yeah, I mean, and when we do get like the episodes where she's not great, it's moments like this, really. You know?
Yeah,
so,
but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just
sorry.
Like,
that was a very side tangent that just
like
made me think about something.
That's just like modernistic sort of readings of old things that, like it's just not true. People like that guy Dan Klein hadn't watched the show in a long time, or is operating off of like hearsay.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I really threw that for a loop there.
You did. Jeez.
So Jill's not being supportive, and we move outside.
Yeah. And we better play a clip here, Jordan.
We oughta.
All right.
Hi-ho, neighbor.
Hi, Wilson.
Using a metal detector at night in the middle of winter. You know, Tim, I'd be glad to help out if you're having a cash flow problem.
It's not about that. I hid Jill's Valentine's present. I can't find it anywhere in the house, so I thought maybe I buried it out here.
What did you get her? A bone? So how did the meeting go with your alluring school chum?
It was actually a meeting with my school chum's mom. Apparently she and my father are very good friends. She was about to tell me they had an affair, and I just ran away.
Well, I could see how painful it would be for you to hear something like that. I know how much you idolized your dad.
I've spent my whole life trying to be like him.
Well, Tim, there's nothing wrong with modeling your life after someone, but it is dangerous to try to live up to an ideal that can't possibly exist.
What are you saying?
That I think it's important that you think of your father as a human being, with flaws like everybody else. You know, I'm reminded of the English statesman Oliver Cromwell, who told an artist, "I want my picture painted, warts and all."
My dad didn't have any warts. Just had a big scar on his neck where I shot him with a staple gun.
Well, Tim, if you don't find out the truth about your father, you may spend the rest of your life wondering who he really was.
Maybe I should go back down to that hotel.
Ah, sounds like you found Jill's present.
No, it's just an area I bury stuff I blow up so Jill won't find them. That's a curling iron there. Crock-pot.
So Tim is using his metal detector, not metal. He's trying to find his gift. He explains his situation to Wilson, as he's done, a couple times before. We've seen this.
Only two.
We've seen this a few times. Wilson, no one's supporting Tim in the way that I would want to be supported if I were Tim. I just want someone to be like, yeah, man, I feel for you. That's tough. But everyone's trying to sort of make it a different thing. I don't know. Wilson says that you need to see your father as a human being, and that he should find out the truth or forever wonder. That's it.
Dun dun dun.
You know what I'm saying though? Can't anyone just say oh man, I'm really sorry that happened. I feel for you. This must be tough. Everyone's like, oh, you gotta. Jill's asking about the sordid details, and Wilson's like, you gotta confront it. I don't know. Leave me alone.
Well, where Wilson wants to get Tim is to realize that every human has their flaws. If you poke into anybody, you're gonna find something that you don't want to know.
Sure. Yeah.
And which
I mean, for you, it's that Rat Pack stuff. Rat Pack, whatever.
I kind of wish the episode would have turned out that way because it would have been more realistic. You know what I mean?
I guess I never thought it was going to, so I didn't really think about it.
You didn't even entertain the thought.
No.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think I like Wilson's reaction better than Jill's, but if that's what you're looking for, yeah, I don't. That's neither are appropriate for you. So, but we go back to the hotel. We're gonna get some closure here. So
yeah, I can take this one. So Lydia's still performing. Garofalo reveals that she has a weakness for drummers. And there is a drummer, and he is an older gentleman played by Anthony Russell. And
Chad Light, the lighter side of life, Scranton newspaper guy.
Which season?
This is when that cartoon goes out on the paper that's a very graphic cartoon, and they have to do the recall, and they're trying to do PR and everything, and they hold a press conference with a customer trying to apologize, and he's the only guy who shows up
on all of this, but I'm very rarely do you spot things that I don't, so I got to give you props. I mean, it's a fair point. He's played as Mel, and Jordan. He has 64 credits to his name, best known for a favorite of mine that I've never actually seen, Norbit. I'm Adam. Hey. The Black Dahlia, Casino, and Ed Wood. Recently, he was in an episode of the Joel McHale Show with Joel McHale. Rest in peace. Marin, and an episode of Scrubs that's been about 10 years. But he doesn't have a lot to do, but he looks funny. So that's
he does
good.
great.
Yeah, he does good.
Can I tell you a very short side Norbit story?
Yeah, sure.
I also have never seen it, but in college, my roommate, he had this trunk that locked.
Yeah.
And I never really knew it was in there, but one time I got a peek, and the
Norbit?
movie Norbit, I think, was in there.
Was this your freshman year roommate?
Sure it was.
That was a tough situation for him and for you guys. I think just didn't quite work out.
I think everybody, yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Norbit!
So yeah, I've never seen it either, but yeah.
We should watch it for Patreon. If we ever do anything for Patreon
I think
again.
we might never do a Patreon
okay,
episode.
I've been wondering
again.
that too. That's okay. We should watch it for fun. Then okay.
We'll do a live watch together and Twitch stream it.
See if we can get Dan Klein, enemy of Home and Podcast, on the show. All right, let's wrap this one up. I guess I was talking. I'll continue. We find out from Lydia that it was not an affair, even though she really made it seem like it was earlier. They did date earlier before the marriage. Tim's father loved Tim's mother very much. What she wants to do is return a favor, and that was that Tim's father lent her some money. She used that money to get piano lessons, and now she's performing in Royal Oak hotel lounges. So I think she made it. And Tim doesn't want the check, but she says it's important, so he takes it. And
Tim requests the monkeys.
And Hey or the monkeys specifically. And I like Anne Francis, but I wondered here if maybe she's not that good at singing.
I think.
Whoa, all right, I want to think about it a little longer.
I'm trying to process this.
Edit out the pause.
I think the monkeys is a tough cover.
then they should have chosen something else.
Well, Tim chose it, so.
I mean, the writer should have. Beach
and
Boys.
What Tim says goes.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't think it was really very good, unfortunately. Final
She
scene.
does mention too, before we move to the final scene, she mentions that she was in a very bad way. I think like her husband had left her or something. So
Yes.
it was a tough situation. So Tim's dad, still the best human on earth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Not only is he not a cheater, he's a god. Much like Norbit.
Post Valentine's Day, we're on the last scene here. Al's gift went over great. I don't know what it was. I wasn't really paying attention. Tim never found Jill's present, unfortunately, so he got her. There's a joke about this where he has to stop at like the gas station and pick something up on the way home, and he had to do the same thing this year. They're starting the show, and they're talking about paint stripping. They've got a hutch, I think is what you called it, and Tim hid the gift in the hutch, and he finds it. There's an antique jewelry box, and it looks very adorable, something Jill would no doubt love. But then there's some fumbling. Al destroys it, which is really a role reversal here, a subversion, you could say, and drops it into the paint stripping material, liquid, whatever you want to call it. And it's still an okay gift. It's got some nice grain on the wood, but it's no longer an antique.
Could have done without this final scene.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to wrap up the plot of the missing gift if you're going to talk about it like 4 times throughout the episode, though.
Fine. I guess they would have done. I wish they would have done it in a, I don't know, funnier way. Roll credits fade to black. A funny Valentine, a.k.a. I have a hutch. Things aren't as they seem. Jordan, nickel for your thoughts. I guess we're still doing that.
Yeah,
He needs to cough up some dough, though. You know.
Yeah, we might just call it
Highs and lows.
Highs and lows again. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel this way with a lot of episodes lately, where they're just like meh. Like this episode was confusing to me. I'm not really interested in either plot, where Tim can't find the Valentine's thing, and the fake story with his dad, which doesn't exist. That wasn't very good. I think just at this point, I'm more interested in the boys and their storylines, but we're not getting a lot of them. Like, I would have liked to see some sort of hijinks with the Valentines with the girls or something, but we don't get that, and so it's a very average episode for me. I don't have a lot to say otherwise. There's not like a ton of jokes, but I did like Janine Garofalo in her appearance. It just was zany enough to throw a little something different here. So, what do you think, Adam?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Fine, I guess. I agree. There were not a lot of jokes here. The plot itself wasn't especially interesting, especially for me because I never really thought he was having the affair. I did like the guest stars. I liked seeing Anne Francis, so it's good to see a Twilight Zone alum. Janine Garofalo was funny. The stuff with Jill was kind of weird. Just like her reaction, her wanting him to see the woman in the first place, and then her sort of poking fun about the dad's affair. Not a great episode for her. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of like indifferent towards this one. Not terrible, not great. Sort of forgettable. But we do continue to build the mythos of Tim's father, which is, I guess, sort of interesting. You know.
I guess I don't know. He's not a realistic figure at all. That's why I was kind of not for Tim's sake, but it would have been nice to be like, oh, he's a real human being with flaws. And we don't really get that. So
not yet. Maybe next time.
In episode 6 of the Tim's father
Tim's Dad Chronicles.
All right. Well, let's move on to social media corner. And Sean, if you want your name associated with that, you're gonna have to pony up some dough. So
yeah, well, I wouldn't look for it.
No, he doesn't need to do that. Sean, social media corner. If you would like to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter at Home and Podcast. Go to YouTube as well and subscribe to us there. We're up to 18 subscribers, so geez.
Go to twitch.com/ Home and Podcast. We're gonna be playing the home improvement video game for SNES, like basically for 30 hours straight. And
we're gonna beat it.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat it without dying once.
The funny thing is, they didn't even get past like half of the first.
That's how you know it's hard. If like these guys that have this video game channel can't do anything. I don't know.
All right, and we're on Patreon at patreon.com/homeandpodcast. I think we have one new review, but I don't know that it was a written review. But I will check.
What are we up to?
I think we're up to 42.
Whoa.
I'm checking right now. Live update. We are at 42.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Adam, I'm
Yes.
going to let you start talking about Tater.
Tater tots. I mean, hey, they call me tater salad. But come on.
Twitter, and then we've got a lot of Twitter stuff to talk about.
man, I have
so
so
we'll get to
much.
that parade article at some point here. So go ahead.
Okay. Lots to get through here. Starting with a poll. Are you a Drew Carey fan? 29 total votes. 10% said no. 31% said indifferent. 59% said yes.
Indifferent. I didn't know you were going to add that one in there.
I probably shouldn't have. Anytime. Yeah.
This is a get off the fence situation, one way or another.
You're saying I should do it again this week? Force people to answer once and for all.
Do it once a week and see if anyone starts to notice.
Jordan, in one of our more controversial polls to date, 84 total votes.
Wowzers.
You know how they say all press is good press? This is kind of an example of that. What's the worst celebrity cameo ever on Home Improvement? Like I said, 84 total votes. This is interesting. 13% said the Andretti Men, 23% said Bauer Sox, 31% said Bob Vila, and 33% said John Elway. Now, before I get into everything surrounding this, I gotta say I was surprised by the percentage of people that said Bob Vila, because usually people really seem to say they like that, and we're the only one, and we're kind of on the outside of that looking in. What do you think?
The IMDb crowd is different than the Home and Podcast crowd, it would seem.
Well, home podcast crowd's more intelligent, obviously.
Obviously, so that's a first thing to start with. Yeah, I was surprised. Well, I'm surprised to see John Elway so far up there. Like, he's only in the show for one episode and not very much.
Do you think if I don't put that, Vila wins, or what do you think happens?
Well, I don't want to get into alternative
Well, let's really speculate. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I like the way you did the poll. I just don't like your Drew Carey poll. That's all.
Well, screw off. All right. So in response, we got some stuff here. I guess I sort of bungled this. Things aren't always in order on Twitter, so I'm just kind of bouncing around. In response to the worst cameo, at Laser Rot Show said they posted a picture of Alan Jackson. They said, definitely not this guy. He has my vote for the best. And I said that I agreed. In relation to Drew Carey earlier, Anthony Schneider said that while he was serving in the Army, Drew Carey came to Korea after his doctor told him not to fly or drink, and he came on stage, drank some beer, and loved the troops. So that's kind of a nice story.
And he served too, I think.
He did serve, yeah. So, at Linda Sta said she's not a huge fan of Bob Vila, but it made sense for the show. At Dr. Headley said, I have to give it to Vila simply based on his acting. I expect the Andretti's, Bauer Sox, and Elway to be disappointing, but Vila's a TV personality. It was a combination of trying too hard and not understanding subtlety.
Burn.
All right, now we got to get into the elephant in the room. So, at Patricia Richardson, L.A.
Who's that?
Well, she plays Jill on the show, Jordan. We interviewed her for a couple hours about a year ago. First, she said, hilarious choices, with a couple of question marks and a lot of exclamation points. I didn't really know where this was going.
Yeah, that really leaves it up in the air, I think.
I didn't know. I assume she wasn't happy. Otherwise, she probably wouldn't have said anything. Then she followed up with, it's just funny to me to pick out worst performances from non-actors who are so nervous and take a chance on appearing, of which we had so many. Some commas missing, maybe. So she doesn't think it's a fair question. She didn't like it. I don't know. How do you want to approach this? I guess
everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't always going to be a home improvement tribute podcast. Sometimes we're going to be a little bit critical. We are appreciative of Patricia's time on the show, and she's helped us in a couple of ways. So, she has her opinion, and we have ours. Always try not to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean to people. These are people that have had success in other fields and maybe just weren't so great on camera. So,
yeah, I doubt they give a crap what we say as well.
Right? Yeah. No one cares what we think. Otherwise, let me see here. Scrolling. I tweeted at this radio show, Preston and Steve show. Apparently, huge following, bigger than Marin, maybe.
I think we like them.
We like them.
Why not?
Sure, yeah, we like these guys. Sure. Yeah, let's be friendly. They tweeted something about Jonathan Taylor Thomas being older than Al Borland was in the first episode of Home Improvement, and I sort of sarcastically responded, "Yeah, that's how time works." And a lot has come out of it. We've got a lot of followers, a lot of likes. Things are going really well for us. Between that and the Patricia Richardson beef with our poll, it's been a big couple of days on Twitter. So I'm happy about that. That's sort of where I'm at with everything. So
That's good. I like it. I have one last. Well, I have two things to talk about. I think
okay.
three now.
Oh man, this is going to be a long one. All right, sure, let's do it.
This review actually was written, so we better talk about it.
And it's positive?
It is a 5-star review.
Wow.
It was written July 29th.
Okay.
And you're going to have to come up with either spoken word poetry or a rap song or something.
All right, let me hear it first, yeah.
All right. This is titled Excellent Podcast, !
I'm with you so far.
This is by Garrett from Missouri. In this short and sweet here, but overall, very good podcast, great content, and discussions, period.
That's really quite kind. Okay. What do I have to do? What did I say?
Well, I think before you sang a little ditty, you said you might do some poetry. Maybe a haiku would be in order.
Okay. Off the cuff, here we go. Garrett, he looks like Tom Skerritt. Thanks for your review, Garrett. Tom Skerritt is an old actor. That's all I got.
All right, well done.
I mean, in perfect harmony, you can't argue that.
He's from the Show Me State.
Missouri loves company, All right.
The second thing that I have here is, didn't you find something out about Craig T. Nelson?
Oh, yeah. You were right, Jordan. First thing on Craig T. Nelson's IMDb trivia was he did have to take the name T because of the other Craig Nelson that played a Swedish guy on our last episode of Home Improvement. So, man, you nail on the head. You're kind of on a roll these days.
Last couple of days, I'm on fire. Everything
never
except
mind
for
your 4-year work anniversary that I saw on LinkedIn. Nice job. Congratulations on that.
Everything except for that one picture that I sent you again about the...
That was embarrassing for you, and I did not let you off the hook.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, hey, whatever.
The last thing that we want to talk about in regards to Twitter, and this is going to replace our question of the week because who cares? Okay. And I tweeted, this was a while ago, not that long ago, but July 20th, I tweeted that my aunt had sent me a parade. I don't know what you would even call this. I don't know.
Newspaper? It looks like a newspaper, I guess.
It's not a magazine, but it's kind of like a magazine. And, so she sent me one that had Tim Allen on the front, and it says, The Buzz on Tim Allen. So that was the feature story. Seth, or Saginaw Cheese, said, so what's the deal with page 14, the cutest ice cream, or clickbait, because it has in the very bottom a very small subscript thing about the cutest ice cream sandwiches. Should I start there, or should I go for the parade article?
I'm just along for the ride, so you do what you're going to do, pal. All
right, I'm going to leave the ice cream sandwiches to the end, because, you know what? At this point, let's just keep it going.
Yep.
And it's a pretty down-the-middle article. It's a... just like Tim Allen's life.
It's a puff piece, right?
Where, him growing up and whatnot. And if you can hear the newspaper over the mic here, I'm looking at it right now. So.
Oh, wow. I like how you proved to all of us you have it in your hand. That was cool.
I'm not making this up.
Whoa, yeah, nice.
But there is a very interesting section about the 411 on Tim Allen, where he lists some of his favorite things.
I'm always a little worried when Tim Allen does interviews like this, if I'm being honest.
So I thought maybe we could go through this section, and maybe you could give me some of your suggestions on what might be some of his favorite things. So what do you think?
Yeah, Jordan, sure.
All right. First one is the hot read. What's he reading at the moment?
The Art of Racing in the Rain.
It's actually At the Mountains of Madness, which is an H.P. Lovecraft book.
That really surprises me, and I don't believe it.
All right, well, it's in Parade Magazine. Could it not be true? Jeez.
I don't know. I shudder at the thought. Journalism maybe not being reliable? I don't know.
All right, what's on his watch list right now? What has he been watching?
What would he watch? Can you tell me if it's modern or if it's something older?
One of these things I've never heard of. The other one would be, I think, 90s, and the other one is timeless.
Okay. Are they films or TV shows?
2 films and something else.
Okay. Watch list. Obviously, he's an old dude, so he loves The Godfather.
Not on here, though.
Okay. Well.
Keep going.
What else? I think he's probably watching Orange is the New Black, final season, getting her done.
It's a good guess, and your last guess.
I think he's going back and watching. Probably like McHale's Navy, Hogan's Heroes, or something like that.
All right. Well, you're wrong on all 3.
Oh,
but
come on. Bullcrap.
I thought you might get one. He just finished The Bodyguard.
The Kevin Costner movie?
I'm
or the
guessing.
Or the Netflix show? Probably the Netflix show.
It does not say, but okay. I'm going to go with the one with Whitney Houston.
Okay.
And The Enemy Within.
I don't know that.
I haven't heard that. He says he watches, Last Man Standing, of course. And
yeah, I bet he does. That does not surprise me.
And he loves football. He's always watching the NFL Network. He says NFL channel, but
NFL channel. Well, he's rich. Maybe he gets something special. Hey Tim, what do you think the Lions are gonna do this year?
He doesn't. Well, we should ask him.
We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks, I guess. Yeah.
All right. On Sundays, I'm not gonna make you guess this, but he says he takes the kid. The kid.
He doesn't know that his or her name.
Take the kid to church, school, then we go to church, and then 3 of us go to breakfast and go golf, and then he has a meeting that he goes to on Sunday nights. That's a full day.
That is a lot busier than my Sundays.
Go-to snack. Adam, what do you think?
Pretzels.
Walnuts. Time travel destination.
Well, he would go to the Wild West.
I'm not going to make you guess this one either, but he'd like to go see the Sermon on the Mount with Jesus. How do you like that?
I didn't think he was Christian.
That is one thing that I learned about this article. He is much more into religion than you and I have read on the internet.
Than he used to be, I guess. Yeah.
Last one.
Last one standing?
His go-to fast food.
Oh, I mean, here's the thing that I'm sensing. I sense he's a health nut now because he's old and he has to be. But I don't know. I'm gonna just hopefully say that he likes McDonald's still.
He loves the chicken sandwich at Burger King with mayonnaise.
Okay.
Which I actually love as well. So how do you like that?
You guys can die a slow death together.
I might go get one tonight. I don't know. I haven't had one in a long time, so it sounds pretty good.
Right.
The other thing that he loves is the Locos Tacos at Taco Bell.
Hey, those are pretty good.
So there you go, Parade Magazine. And to cap this thing off, I guess I ought to tell you.
Yeah.
The cutest ice cream sandwich around?
Okay.
It's a double chocolate strawberry ice cream sandwich.
Who makes it?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't get that part of it, but for the sake of ending this episode, I'm going to say, like what you're doing. What are we covering next week, Jordan?
Next week we're covering Wilson's World. Wilson's World.
Ooh, wow. Okay, that's going to be a good one.
Sure it is. They all have been lately.
All right. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening. And I guess I should say, take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody.